if you read it, it's a testament to the quality of British universities because, of course, Prince Harry didn't go to university, and some of his language, I think you can tell.
The Duke of Sussex has written an essay ahead of Remembrance Day, reflecting on his pride in military service and his affection for what he calls the things that make us British. Not everybody is agreeing with his definition, though. Comedian Jon Harvey, also known as Count Binface, joins us now. Very good afternoon.
Hello, it's lovely to be on the show.
Well, it's very nice to have you, Your Honour, or whatever it is about to your countess.
Jane knows all too well, having had to spar with me on election night.
Okay.
You didn't win.
Will do.
You didn't win. Don't overplay your part.
Oh, come on. I mean, I think I'm doing better now than Rishi's doing, irrespective of his lovely Times column. You know, it's Binface is still standing strong. I'm playing the long game.
Are you? Okay.
Did you manage to sit on a bench and have a chat with Rishi as well, or was it just Count Binface?
To be fair to the Count, he made himself only too available on election night.
Is he not busy enough?
He seemed to have time for me. I was very touched.
Will you stop all this jauntiness, please? Sorry. Carry it on down the pub. Go on a date together. You'll be fine. John, let's talk about what Prince Harry has said, because actually in his letter it's an open letter to all of us about Remembrance Day, he's got some really thoughtful things to say about the cost of war, the people who are left behind. He's been particularly moved by the sons and daughters who he's met through his journey, through the charities that he supports, who are always there marching proudly at the Cenotaph this weekend. He says they don't march with bitterness, but with love and pride. And then he says this lovely thing at the end, which is a call to all of us to actually remember Remembrance Sunday in the right way as an opportunity to talk to people who have an experience of service. And I think all too frequently we think we buy a poppy and we've done our bit. So these bits of his letter are really well worth amplifying, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's best to start with that because we mustn't be too churlish, because although there is plenty to mock about Prince Harry generally, if there's one aspect where, and some of, I think we'll probably talk about, some of his family members haven't found a dignified place for themselves, his role in sort of amplifying the cause of veterans, their families, and the cost of war is perhaps like the single greatest contribution he's made in his adult life, I think. And so it's in that sense doesn't feel like it's a sort of a cynical thing for him to do. It does feel in keeping with the sort of the role he's given himself. But yeah, there are some aspects within it which maybe are more amusing. But as you say, the overall tone of it, I think we can praise.
Yeah. Let's talk about the things that he loves about Britain. So he's obviously sitting there poolside at Montecito. He's thinking, how do I sum up my love for my country in the kind of, the small experience that other people will understand. So he's gone for the banter of the mess, the clubhouse, the pub and the stands. And he just sounds like a guy who got married, had kids, doesn't see enough of his mates anymore. I mean, that's a bit sad, isn't it?
It is. And I'll tell you what, I think the word stands is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It's the one which I've seen left out of certain news reports on it. But I think I know darn well what's going on here, which is that he was poolside last weekend, Saturday afternoon, more precise, I'm guessing, watching England versus Australia on the TV instead of the best seat in the house in Twickenham, which of course he had for many years. So I think the stands is probably the thing he's missing most, because I think he is a huge rugby fan and he missed out on seeing England giving the Aussies a good walloping. So that's definitely something. And, I think you mentioned he also talks about the banter, the self-deprecating nature of Brits, which I think does give us license to sort of rib him a little bit here. And I think those things are fair. But given that you guys have, as a lot of the news have called this an essay, it is, firstly, it's only 647 words. So that is generous. It's more, an amuse-bouche. And I'd never thought I'd find myself marking a Prince Harry essay. I want to ask you guys if I'm going to get paid the same as Rory Stewart when he was a royal tutor, because he was on a bit of money for that. But really, if you read it, it's a testament to the quality of British universities because, of course, Prince Harry didn't go to university, and some of his language, I think you can tell.
Right, OK. Well, that's very damning indeed, isn't it? I completely take your point about the stands. I too think that that's a very important thing. And just in those four things that he lists, there is something of the of the kind of deserted male, isn't there? Because all of those things that he's referring to about being part of a great big kind of pack of noise, travelling through sport, travelling through entertainment, travelling through your weekends. And of course, that's the terrible problem when you become incredibly wealthy and you disappear up a very long gravel drive with a great big gate at the front of it. There isn't a pub and there isn't banter and there aren't lots of mates just round the corner.
I mean, you say disappeared. I think he's always been up that long gravel drive. I think literally and figuratively. So that's one of the bits in the essay which sort of doesn't ring quite true when he tells everyone, if you see a veteran, give him a shake of the hand, take him for a cup or a pint. When you sort of think, well, don't you only do that in very, very sort of strictly sort of marshaled circumstances? It's all right for you to say that. Do you actually really do it? So there's a little bit of that, but I suppose also it's not quite as blokey as it might initially sound. We've all, I think, Jane, you mentioned a pint of mild just before we did this segment. Women enjoy going to the rugby and going for a pint as well, and we mustn't stereotype it too much. And I do think if we are to sort of link it to sort of my experience, one of the things we're in doing comedy, I honestly think there are elements to what comedians do in Britain, which you'd find hard to do in some other countries, because we do, I think, have a remarkable ability to take the mickey out of ourselves. And I think there's a lovable amateurishness about sort of our society and us, which we all sort of, I don't think it gives us a warm feeling. I mean, it certainly sums up my political career, and of course, as we're discovering today, it sums up the Home Office as well. So there are pros and cons to it, but I think it is resolutely British.
Yeah. So if you were cast away to an extremely well-off gated community, John, what do you think the things would be that you would list as really summing up your longing for Britain?
Well, I mean, at the moment, I've got a toddler, and we've got another little baby on the way, and so my abilities to mix down the pub and in the stands and all the rest of it are going to be severely curtailed. So I do feel Prince Harry's pain, although I don't quite have the pool, as you say, in Montecito and all the rest of it to be a salve. So I do appreciate that sort of lack. When we don't have those things we adore, when it is simply just going to a pub quiz, that's a very British thing, isn't it? That kind of thing, or just going bowling, or a bit of a crazy golf, those kind of things. If he's missing those, then I feel for him. But I think he has some sort of side benefits that the rest of us don't. Put it like that.
Yeah, and actually when he thinks of Britain, it is different, isn't it? Because it's kind of his country he's thinking about with a capital H. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us. That's Jon Harvey, also known as Count Binface.